Good afternoon. My name is Adenrele Sonariwo. I come from a tiny street called Italba. Italba is in Shagamu. It's about 20 minutes from here. So I actually feel like I'm back home. Shagamu is also one of 33 towns in Remoland. Remoland is one of 4 regions in Ogun State, as well as Egbaland, which you're in right now, Yewaland, and Ijebuland. And of course, we know that Ogun State is one of 36 states in Nigeria. For my primary education, I went to a school called WAPCO Staff School. WAPCO has since changed or merged with a company called Lafarge. So my primary school no longer exists, unfortunately. But after WAPCO school, I went to Queen's College, Yaba, Lagos. And then from Queen's College, Yaba, Lagos, I went to Howard University in Washington, D.C. I have a master's degree and some certificate courses. And the reason I lay that foundational aspect of my life is to say that I am not one person. And so, for instance, my favorite food is ebiripo, which is a staple food from where I'm from in Shagamu. I ate a lot of it while living there. I learned the life skill of swimming at WAPCO Staff School. Some of my best friends today, I met them while I was in Queen's College. And my entrepreneurial drive was heightened at Howard University. So you see, all these places have sort of played a role in shaping who I am today. A lot of people ask me, why the arts? And I say to them, why not, right? Art is life. The mere fact that we're in this building this afternoon is art. The clothes we're wearing, the shoes we're wearing, the lovely dresses, it's all art. And so art is life. And so for me, it's no question as to why I am in the arts. I'm a complex being, and everybody is complex. We're living in very complex times, and I believe one of the ways in which we're able to make sense of that complexity is through the arts and culture. There's strength in our experiences. I believe that I am unique, and nobody has the same exact experiences that I've had to live through, and I believe that's the same thing for everybody sitting down in here, across Ogun State, across the world, across Nigeria. We all have something unique, and it's in that strength of my complexity that I have a desire to do anything that is really art related. So this is not my baby, but it all started for me sometime around 2009. I was working in a big 4 accounting firm in the US. I was comfortable, was making good money. And I was also, I had also just closed on a house, which I was paying a mortgage on. But then my sister called me, it was late 2009, and she said to me, "You're going to be an auntie." And after we go through the whole emotions and excitement, we started making plans. She had moved to Nigeria about maybe 2-3 years prior. But she had lived in Canada and grown up there. So she was going to come back and have the baby there. And then I said to her, my time is not my own. I don't have control over my time. But what I'm going to do is, as soon as we hear that the baby is coming, I'll look for a flight. I'll come on over and hopefully be able to spend maybe 2 weeks with you. Now, at this point, I had been toying with the idea of exploring something in the creative sector. But I couldn't, for the life of me, get myself to leave that comfort zone I was in. I was so scared, I was so afraid. And so, in April of 2011, my niece's father sends a text and says, "Oh, your sister is in labor." And so the next thing, I take off work and then I'm looking for a flight. Of course, it's very expensive. Eventually, I found a way to get myself to Canada. It took having to take 2 different planes. So I transited twice, and then I had to take a bus for maybe 5-6 hours. But eventually, I get myself there. And then, of course, I've already missed the delivery. But just being in that moment and seeing a newness, someone give birth to life did something to me. And I remember spending 2 weeks and then going back to my job and saying, "Oh, I quit." And they said to me, oh, are you sure? Do you have another, is somebody wooing you somewhere else? I was like, no, what are you going to do next? I really don't know, but I just have this feeling of new beginnings. I want to try something new. And so I quit I put in my notice. I probably left at the end of April, and I came back to Nigeria in May of 2010. So this was me taking a risk, and I decided I wanted to follow my passion. Taking risks and following your passion, it sounds very easy, but trust me, I understand that it is very challenging because I've lived through it. Now, this afternoon, I'm supposed to be talking about the possibilities within the Nigerian contemporary art. And I can start off saying that, for first, let's think about it firstly. We don't even know our own history, right? Because the first archaeological evidence that exists about our being wasn't even researched or written by us. It was written by some other people, and so there was room for it to be manipulated. So there is an opportunity right there. We can also say that we don't have the infrastructures to create an enabling environment for the art to thrive. And so there's also an opportunity there. We can talk about our leaders and say, oh, our leaders, do they have the vision? Are they visionaries? Can they take us from where we are right now to where we need to be? And there's an opportunity for leaders to rise up especially in our sector. And then you can go on and on about how we need more art writers, and we need more curators and researchers, and we need education. We need artists to be educated. We need the patrons even to be educated and to understand the importance of the art and to respect the artists, that worked in this space for the past 8 years, to understand the opportunities that exist. So there's so many opportunities that exist, but we all know that, and that'll be a bit boring. So I figured this afternoon I'll just take you a little bit through my own story and how I was able to find those opportunities. So the first thing I did was, obviously, I took a risk and I followed my dreams. The next thing I did, a year after I came to Nigeria, I said I'm going to plan the biggest art event that Nigeria has ever seen. Obviously, I was very naive. And so I had brought back all my savings. I had an okay job. I had brought back all my savings, and I started trying to figure it out. I rented Civic Center. Just for context, Civic Center maybe cost about ₦1 million. We got sound, we got lights, we got a decorator. Back then we got Black Magic. Is it Black Magic? Yeah. I don't know how many of you know who Black Magic is, but we got Black Magic. Then we could get him for about 100,000 naira. We also got Ebuka for 100,000 naira. That's for more context. And then we maybe 1 or 2 promotional stops. Like a friend of a friend knew somebody at Beat FM, and so they allowed us to come on radio to talk about the event and all that. Catered food, drinks for 500 people. I was so sure that it was going to be the biggest art event that Nigeria had ever witnessed. This was in December of 2011. And so the day arrived. I'd also gone out to artists, and again, through mostly introductions and relationship, artists had given me their works to exhibit. I'd gone around with my camera and taken videos of people. The essence of the exhibition, we called it For the Love of Arts. It was really supposed to be encouraging more people to pursue careers in the arts, and it was to show even where those that have already studied degrees in the arts, where they are right now, what they're doing with those sort of degrees. So that was the essence, to introduce, to encourage more people to go into the arts. And of course, the day came, the event came, and I mentioned earlier that we decided we're going to cater for 500 people, because that's the amount of, that's a seating capacity at the Civic Center. And maybe like 50 people, and that's even me being generous, showed up to that event. So I was in debt, right? All my money gone. At that point, I had stopped paying my mortgage, so I lost the house that I worked so hard for. And then I remember like waking up the next morning and telling my brother, I feel like I'm going to commit suicide. And it says, because I was in so much debt, like people were calling me, and a lot of things we had, how you plan an event and you say, oh, take a deposit, I'll pay you back after the event kind of thing. So I've done that all around and all that. And also, I'm very passionate when I'm talking, so I have a way of convincing people that, just trust me, as soon as the event is over, you get, of course, none of that happened. And so I was in a lot of debt. I was broke, I was frustrated, I was disappointed, you know, all sort of different emotions were running through my head. And this is how the space looked like during the day. So what we said was it would look like this during the day, and then in the evening, dinner, of course, the food wasted, all that stuff. And my brother said to me, "You're not going to commit suicide, because if you're going to commit suicide, you would, you know, just go ahead. You're not going to tell me that you're going to commit suicide." I said, "You have a good point." But you know, the normal course of action would have been to go back to accounting or to quit. But there's something about passion. It's like a drug. It allows you to see the vision even when other things are bleak. So I kept going. I let my passion sort of drive me. Yes, there's something about passion. And then for about from 2012 to 2014, I kept pushing. I used to do a lot of pop-up exhibitions. I would go from door to door selling art. I remember one example, I had, you know, packed all the art. I borrowed one of my friend's cars, packed, because he had a bigger car. I packed all the artworks, went around to artists, you know, "Give me your art, let me try and sell it for you." Packed everything, went to this place in Ilupeju, and it was about 4 floors of having to carry art up, you know. And this kind of thing, the security guys, they don't even look at you like they know what's going on. They just greet you and you have to do all the work yourself. So carried it all the way up, and then showing the client, the man I went to show it to, and he said, "You know what? I actually don't even like all this contemporary kind of art. I'm very into, you know, masters and all that kind of stuff." And I just sat down there like, you know, all this wahala and everything. But I mean, he pitied me enough to buy one of the works, and you know, that for me was encouragement enough to keep going. I kept going, and I realized that I wanted to move to the next level, and the next level for me meant that I was going to gain some knowledge. And so this was the last exhibition I did in 2014 before I decided I was going to go and get a curating course, get a curating certificate. And so this exhibition, I remember I sold my car, I did so many things, but I was just determined to do the best I could. I had no idea who my audience was going to be. I just wanted to put together a very fantastic show. And again, at this point, passion was driving me. And so the exhibition went well. I turned our living room around. Then my 2 brothers were like so upset because it was Premier League season, and so I had taken away, I had removed the TV from where it used to be. We covered it, painted it, removed all the furniture, everything. It was like, you know, it just looked like there was nothing. It wasn't a living room before, and so I did that, and you know, good reception, good audience, and then I went for my course. But this experience for me, doing that exhibition, opened so many doors for me that I never even imagined. I was still running on passion. And then I came back about a year after, and it was sort of like I was able to see my dreams being validated, first because I took a risk and I followed my passion. I let that passion drive me, and I went on to get some knowledge. To give a background of Rele Gallery, really, of how we even started really quickly, was that an investor had come to the exhibition I had done in my house and said to me, "You know, what you did here even looks better than some of the other galleries that exist within Lagos." And so also followed my journey of wanting to go study more about it, and invested in it. Of course, it came with a lot of challenges. It came with us, and for me in particular, I was driven by the fact that I didn't want this to just be a local. I didn't want to be a local player. I wanted you to be able to come into anything I do and feel like you're anywhere else in the world. And now we're still taking baby steps. We're about a little over 3 years old now. So we open the gallery. We understand that there are going to be highs and lows and everything. But in the process of that, we found other opportunities to make history. For instance, I was privileged to have curated the very first Nigeria's pavilion at the Venice Biennale in May of last year. And just for context, this is an opportunity there again because the Venice Biennale is the most important art exhibition in the world. And Nigeria, in the history of the entire thing, about 157 years, has never ever shown there. So my team and I, we took a risk where others had failed, and we were successfully able to showcase Nigeria on this global platform. The work that you see here is the work of Victor Kameno. And then we I have another piece. This was called Flying Girls, and this piece is very dear to me because even though it means something else in another context, I took it to heart because it meant for me as a woman that I could fly and I could think it and it could happen. Because before we were able to fully accomplish this, there were so many things that were being said. There were so many people that even within our team that was trying to drag it out. We had to deal with so many challenges, financial challenges, and just people. Someone even came to me and said, "You're trying to crawl before you fly." And so for me, this was a very special piece for me because I'm like, yes, I'm flying, and here we are now, kind of thing. But I think for me, the lesson I learned through this entire experience is that through the course of your journey, you will find opportunities, and those opportunities can sometimes allow you to make history. We're lucky to have been able to do that with this project. And again, as we kept going, we make history. We want to move beyond self. I can personally speak firsthand as to how art has changed people, especially the artists that we work with. It has empowered them. People that were in the lowest of neighborhoods, you see them now and they're in a level of society where they're influential and they're powerful. So whenever any parent comes and says to me that the art is not profitable or it's not a good career, I have so many examples to give to them. There's so much opportunities for artists. And beyond self for us also means that we are contributing to our educational system. We have a series of programming where we've started already going to schools to donate books to encourage the artists and people in that environment. Because when you see artists, you're inspired to want to be. When you see artists already working in that space, you're inspired to want to look like to be like them. You kind of see them as role models for you to look up to, which doesn't currently exist in the educational system in Nigeria. So for us, it's about giving back and moving beyond our own self. And so in conclusion, in my journey, what I've learned is that taking risks pays off, following your passion pays off, because the passion, of course, is that force that will drive you. Knowledge is power. It's always good to have knowledge. And then move beyond yourself. And if you're making history in the process, then kudos to you. Thank you for listening.